Which woman I married today? That tenant's wife in apartment 2, they okay.
People fear ghosts, spirits, and witches, but the most dangerous evil is the one that wears a smile, holds your rent agreement, and knocks on your door at night. In Block 49, the landlord wasn't just greedy, he wanted every woman, destroyed marriages, and hid a secret no one could escape. But one woman refused to be broken, and the truth finally caught up with him. This is the apartment of tears, the landlord who charged rent with his body. If you have ever lived in Lagos, you know that houses have their own spirits. Some buildings carry peace. Some carry blessings. Some carry prayers. But Block 49 carried something else. Fear. Residents whispered that the true danger of Block 49 wasn't the darkness, or the faulty generator house, or the broken gates that screamed whenever the wind blew. No. The danger lived upstairs. The danger ate roasted yam and palm oil every night. The danger snored like thunder. The danger had a stomach that touched the world before the rest of his body. The danger was the landlord. His name was Uduak Benson, but everyone secretly called him Odegu Ekwensu, the fat devil. He was big. Grossly big. His head was round like a ripe watermelon, and his eyes were wide, bulging like searchlights that never blinked. When those eyes followed a woman, every cell in her body screamed run. His wife, Madame Ekoet, matched his size. She was fat, loud, and always sweating. But unlike her husband, she was harmless, a woman who loved cooking and gossip, who believed every woman should fear God and every man should fear her husband. But Uduak feared nobody. And because he feared nobody, he respected nobody. For years, every woman in his compound knew his routine. A new female tenant moves in. He studies her, creates a problem, offers help. And when she panics, he gives two options. Bring money, or bring yourself. Many women, out of fear of eviction or shame, fell for his trap. Some left the compound quietly. Some broke down silently. Some stayed because they felt stuck, powerless, voiceless. Block 49 became a place where tears were washed away with fake smiles. Yet still, people rented spaces there. Why? Because the rent was cheap. And in Lagos, cheap rent is the devil's favorite bait. But one day, a couple moved in. A couple who didn't know the evil that ruled Block 49. Their names were Amora and Chike Onyora. They arrived with 2 children, 2 suitcases, and enough hope to fill their small 2-bedroom apartment. Amora was a quiet beauty, soft-spoken, graceful, humble, and strong. The kind of woman whose smile could calm a storm. Chike, her husband, was hardworking, an upcoming mechanic with dreams of owning his own workshop. He was a man who adored his wife, worshipped his children, and believed that love was enough to build a future. When they moved into Block 49, the building came alive. Children ran around again. Women came outside to gist. Even the air felt lighter. But light does not last long in a place built for darkness. And the darkness had been waiting. The first time the landlord saw Amora, he froze. He was sitting outside shirtless, his big belly rising like a hill, while chewing roasted plantain and groundnut. Sweat glistened on his forehead as he wiped his greasy fingers on his shorts. Then Amora walked in. She wore a long yellow dress that glowed in the sun, and her hair was packed neatly. She carried her last box on her head while her children held her wrapper and giggled. Uduak's eyes widened. His chest stopped moving. His mouth hung open. He stared so hard that even the sun looked away. Yezu, he muttered. This one find too much. He cleaned his hands and marched forward with the confidence of a hungry lion. Oh. New tenant. Welcome, oh. His booming voice echoed. Amora smiled politely. Good afternoon, sir. The landlord's eyes traced her shape slowly, without shame. Jack came out immediately, wearing a smile, unaware of the danger. Good afternoon, landlord. Oh, my son. Welcome to Block 49. You people will enjoy here, eh? That was the first lie. The landlord continued staring at Amora. So much that even Jack felt strange. But Amora didn't notice. She was too busy arranging her children. Too busy smiling with gratitude. Too busy believing she was safe. If only she knew. It started with water. Barely 3 days after they moved in, the landlord banged on their door at 7 a.m. Kepio. 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 Jack opened the door half asleep. Landlord entered immediately without greeting. There is a problem, he announced. What happened? Jack asked. Your wife broke the main water pipe. Amora, who was sweeping the living room, paused. Sir. I haven't touched anything. That is what they all say. The landlord snapped. Jack tried to calm things. Okay, sir, how much is the repair? Landlord smiled slowly. Too slowly. For you, nothing. But for your wife? His eyes dragged over her body. We can settle it privately. Amora felt her heart jump. She stepped behind her husband. Jack frowned. Sir, she said she didn't break anything. Landlord's eyes darkened. You are arguing with me. Jack shook his head. No, sir. I just want. Enough. Oduak barked. If you don't settle me, I will disconnect your water for 1 month. Sir, please, Amara tried to speak. He raised a finger sharply, silencing her like a slave. You. Woman. You will see me later in my office. That is all. He turned and marched out. Amora collapsed on the chair, shaking. Jack knelt beside her. Don't worry. I'll handle him. But Amora had seen something in the landlord's eyes. Something that felt like danger. Something that felt like hunger. Something that whispered. Run. The landlord didn't give up. He tried everything. Strategy 1, seduction. He sent Amora money on WhatsApp. 50,000 Nigerian Nairas. Then 100,000 Nigerian Nairas. Then 200,000 Nigerian Nairas. No message. No caption. Just money. Amora refunded everything instantly. He was shocked. No woman had ever returned his money. He asked himself, which kind of angel is this one? And angels made him angry. He told Jack that their rent receipt was invalid and they owed him 2 months extra payment. When they insisted their receipt was correct, he threatened court, eviction, and police. But Amora kept her calm. Sir, we will not pay what we do not owe. Her voice didn't shake. That made him furious. 1 week, he said they were too loud. Another week, he said they used too much electricity. Another week, he said their window looked offensive. Then one night, he switched off their water from the main tank. Jack confronted him. They argued. Neighbors gathered. But still, Amora didn't bend. And that was when the landlord decided to use his darkest weapon. Not Amora. Not money. Not threats. Her husband. The landlord knew something about men. Break their mind, and you break their home. He approached Jack like a father, offering advice, guidance, friendship. He told him lies wrapped in wisdom. You see your wife, she is too perfect. That kind of perfection hides secrets. You think she smiles too much. Women who smile too much are hiding something. You work too hard. Another man is enjoying your house. At first, Jack laughed. He ignored the comments. But poison works slowly. Not immediately. Then one day, the landlord struck harder. He told Chike he saw Amara talking to a male tenant at night. He said she was dressed too nicely. He said her smile looked suspicious. Chike's heart shook. Just a little. Just enough. The next day, he started noticing small things. Amara answering her phone in the kitchen. Amara smiling at a neighbor. Amara whispering with her sister on WhatsApp. Things he had never cared about suddenly became blades stabbing his mind. Uduak watched and smiled. His plan was working. He invited Chike to a drinking joint. Introduced him to friends. Tempted him with girls. Told him to balance the scale before he is embarrassed. Chike resisted at first. But suspicion drowned his judgment. Fear ate his conscience. One night, after too much alcohol and too many lies, he fell. And like all men who fall, he hid the guilt with anger. He returned home late. Shouted at Amara for no reason. Accused her of what he himself had done. Amara cried. Begged. Explained. But suspicion had already replaced love. Their home became a war zone. The children hid behind doors. Amara barely slept. And the landlord was satisfied. He needed just one more push. And he found it. It happened on a Saturday morning. Amara had just returned from the market when Chike grabbed her phone suddenly. Give it to me. She froze. Chike, what is it? I said give it to me. She handed it over, confused. Chike checked messages, calls, everything. He found nothing. That made him even angrier. Who were you talking to last night? Chike, I was talking to Chioma, my sister. Liar. His voice shook the walls. The children cried. Neighbors peeked through windows. Amara stood with tears running down her face. I have never cheated on you. Never. But Chike's mind had already collapsed under the landlord's poison. And then, something snapped. He smashed her phone on the floor. This marriage is over, he said quietly. I want a divorce. The word stopped. Amara fell to her knees, her hands trembling, her chest burning. How did we get here? Chike walked out. Landlord watched from upstairs with a slow evil smile. He had finally won. Amara packed a small bag, gathered her children, and left the house crying. Neighbors whispered. Some cried for her. Some looked away. Nobody knew how to help. At the gate, the landlord blocked her path. He smiled wickedly. Now that you're single, you can finally be mine. Amara stared at him with disgust, with anger, with the strength of a broken woman. Get out of my way. She pushed past him and walked out of block 49 forever. The landlord watched her leave, furious. You will come back, he shouted. You will beg me. He didn't know. His own downfall had just begun. Amara went straight to her elder sister, Chioma. Chioma was a woman nobody crossed twice. Tall, fierce, wealthy, and feared in business circles. Her presence alone commanded respect. When she saw her younger sister arrive with swollen eyes and 2 children, she didn't need explanations. She hugged her niece and nephew. She held Amara tightly. Then she whispered. Who did this to you? Amara dropped to her knees crying. Chioma's eyes darkened. This is the work of a man, she said slowly. And any man who makes my sister cry will cry blood. She spent the entire night listening to Amara recount everything, the lies, the poison, the manipulation, the landlord, the divorce. Chioma's anger grew like fire. She didn't shout. She didn't curse. She didn't storm out. She simply said,
Fix this.
I will fix this.